It's an unforgiving beast. Let me show you why. PvP. Why is it so damn hard? And why are you finding it hard? Well, I'll tell you why. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're discussing why PvP is so difficult in the Elder Scrolls Online. And the reason for this is simply roles. And this is what is not really highlighted enough, in my opinion. I mean, this goes for the standpoint of a basic build that's sort of solo. So essentially, when you're in a dungeon, you have a role. So this is from a PvE perspective. You'd either be a DPS, a tank, or a healer. So you would fulfill one of those roles. But in PvP, that is not the case at all. It is completely different in a general build standpoint, not from a ganker's perspective or a healer's perspective, but just a general build. Say you're soloing or in battlegrounds, there's a completely different role that you actually need, and which isn't really addressed. So I'm going to address it. And essentially, should you be a DPS or should you be a healer or a tank in PvP? You totally can, but for a generic build, what role do you actually have to be? And the simple answer to that is you have to be all three. And that is what I think is missed for a lot of newer players, is that, oh, should I go in as DPS as a PvP player? Or should I go in as a healer as a PvP player? Or should I go in as a tank as a PvP player? Yes, you can. But if you want to do a generic, say, 2-bar build or 1-bar build, and you want to be soloing, you have to fulfill essentially all three roles to be a successful PvPer. And that is why you might be failing, because you're focusing too heavily on damage as a DPS role, or you're focusing too heavily on healing and then you're not getting the damage in, or you're focusing too heavily in tanking and you're not getting any damage in. So you have to have a balance of all three roles essentially on your build, and this is what's going to allow you to become much better at PvP, and you're going to struggle less. So you have to fulfill all three roles on one character, and this is what makes it so difficult. So like I said, you need to provide the damage against your enemy players. You also have to be able to heal yourself, and you also have to be able to take the damage. So fulfilling all three roles is very difficult indeed, particularly if you come from a PvE aspect, as where they are more separate. Unless, for instance, say the only closest thing would be, say, soloing, like overland bosses and stuff, where again you would be fulfilling all three roles. So treat it as that. So you see PvP as the same way, that it has to be all three fulfilled. So like in this build I'm showing you here, I'm doing all three. I'm providing damage, providing heals, and I'm also providing the tankiness. You have to do all three. If one lags behind even slightly, then you are not going to be successful in PvP. So that's really the nutshell of the video, guys. You have to fulfill all three roles. You can't just do one. Well, you can just do one, but from a generic, normal, run-of-the-mill solo build. I mean, a ganker is just full damage with maybe some healing, but no tankiness. But from an actual 1vx sort of build, you want to be attacking players, going on all on your own. This is what you have to do. So make sure your build has all three filled. You have to have heals, you have to be tanky, and you have to provide that damage. If you fulfill all these three roles in PvP, you will do a lot better. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Make sure your build does all this. Drop the video a like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.